We are talking with Indian Cowboy from DocSports.com, continuing our College Bowl preview coverage here on SBR TV. Now let's get to the maybe the most interesting game that I asked you to take a look at, which is the Champs Sports Bowl. That involves Notre Dame against Florida State. Both these teams were not great bets on the year. Notre Dame 5-7 against the spread. Florida State 6-6. They've both been dealing with some injuries. Florida State's quarterback Manuel had an injured shoulder at the end of the year. He did not play well, but now they're saying that he's a little bit better. It's not quite clear if he's fully healed. Notre Dame, though, they lost their top running back in the BC game, and now they're going to have a receiver as a number 2 runner. And FSU does have a great run defense, but of course Notre Dame has a great passing attack that might be a bit of a challenge for Florida State. Looking at this overall, I think I would lean Florida State -2.5, and I wouldn't touch the total. How do you see this game?
God, man, this is probably the toughest game out of the 5 that you gave me to cap, because Notre Dame is such a fickle team.
Exactly.
And FSU is a fickle team, too.
Exactly.
And both these teams are highly untrustworthy. In fact, I actually had Notre Dame +7, if you remember. It was a great public fade against Stanford on the road, and they kind of coughed it up there, and they didn't really show up. So two really fickle teams, but I do like, at the end of the day, some splits that you and I can share is Notre Dame is actually 34th in the country, both offense and defense, and FSU is 74th in offense, but 6th in the country in defense. And I think a decent public fade here, rather than a side, because I don't trust either teams. Although if I were to lean one way or the other, FSU could be given that X factor that you were talking about. I would lean on the under, because I think people are going to see these two big name schools and naturally lean on the over. And I think a decent fade would be to go with the under, because at the end of the day, Notre Dame did hold Stanford to 21 points, not bad.
Right.
And FSU is going to have to rely on that defense, especially with their quarterback situation in flux. So I'll lean on the under for me.
Yeah, I agree with you. These are two very, very fickle teams. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like the Giants-Cowboys game last night. It's
Absolutely.
just like you kind of like feel sick
comparison.
betting on or against either of these teams.